Come on, dude. This guy really had to blow out his fucking hamstring. Like, this was going to be my comeback moment. Like, I literally got butt-fucked by communist cock this week because Xi Jinping decided to destroy the stock market. And now when I try to get a come-up through fucking my fantasy league, I get hit with this shit? It's just, there's no winnings anywhere. There's no W's anywhere to be found. Oh, hold on, what's this? On September 22nd, 2021, the United States District Court of Wyoming issued a federal arrest warrant for Brian Christopher Laundrie, pursuant to a federal grand jury indictment related to Mr. Laundrie's activities following the death of Gabby Petito. Whoa, okay, alright. I mean, I'm happy that after 11 days of her being reported missing and 10 days of her actually being missing, I'm happy that, you know, almost a month went by and finally there's some police action being taken that, you know, this Brian individual is going to be found and taken in for questioning and basically maybe try to understand, like, what went wrong. I mean, it's basically he went on a road trip with his girlfriend. He came back without his girlfriend. She ended up dead and it was missing and then found dead. So there's a lot of mysteries going on here. There's a lot of open questions. Hopefully the police can get a hold of him, ask questions, and try to figure out what ended up leading to this girl's demise. Was that good enough? Was that good enough? Do you think that I'll win like a Grammy nod for that or Oscar, whatever the fuck, whatever title, whatever idol? You think that was good enough? Like, is it like, did it sound fucking professional enough? Now, let me just say, with this whole story, there's two schools of thought, right? One's a majority, one's a minority, literally and in thought. A lot of people who aren't white are wondering, why is this national news? Why is it that someone who goes missing, like most people do every day, like, why is this getting 24/7 around-the-clock news coverage? Now, for those people who are uneducated, those people who may be ignorant or just not in the know, I'll go ahead and let you watch this quick clip, and it should pretty much make everything crystal clear.
Mad at that, but that is top shelf white woman right there. You know how you can tell how pretty a white woman is? The value, you look at her and then you wonder how long they would look for if she was missing. Come on, take a look, take a look. Look at this nigga, look,
Dude, if I could do some fucking Full Metal Alchemist shit and like sacrifice my left arm to bring back Patrice O'Neal to life, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd absolutely do it in a heartbeat. But hopefully that explains everything to you. It makes it crystal clear. Like, this girl going missing is literally the second worst thing to 9/11. And this is even more fucking apropos. She was reported missing on 9/11. So now when I think of 9/11, the first thing I'm thinking of is Osama bin Laden's dirty ass. And then the second thing I'm thinking of is this fucking incel. Now, one thing that has been a recurring theme throughout the story is there's a lot of white themes. You know what I mean? The incel theme, little white kid, his girlfriend gets mad, he wants to kill her. You know, the white theme of, we're just going to travel the country. I don't have a job or go to school, but I have my parents' money, so I just feel like adventuring for a couple of months. You know, there's a lot of white shit going on here. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Caucasian shit happening. And I was thinking to myself, could this have happened if they weren't white? And then I thought to myself something that was even more diabolical and even more opposite to this entire story. What if there was a universe where everything was the same? All these events occurred, but instead of it being Brian Christopher Laundrie that did this and was on the run or quote-unquote missing, it was, let's just say, Jameel Williamson. Jameel Williamson, a young black man in America who somehow found himself in this mystery. Like, I think that this story would literally not exist. Now, first of all, everything has to be the same except for the guy being black. If we had a black woman and a white guy, it'd be just like a 2-week like race thing. If we had a black woman and a black guy, you would literally never hear of them. There would be, you wouldn't fucking hear of it. It literally would have been on the local newspaper in the smallest font possible. But if we had the perfect concoction of fucking chemical X in this, which would be a black boyfriend and a white girlfriend, this be OJ 2.0. You already know the vibes. You already know the story that would have went down. But let's go through this. Let's try to break this down theoretically and build a theorem. And really, we're going to fucking build a proof. You want to talk about the fucking proof of limits? Let's talk about the proofs of this. If this guy was a black guy, this shit would not exist in multiple ways. Now, first of all, the way this story starts off is super duper Caucasian, where There's a young 20-something white girl, a young 20-something white guy. They don't go to school currently. They don't work currently. They just have a fucking van and their parents funding them. That's super white. Like, that's some crazy Caucasian shit. So, off the bat, you gotta have some benefit of doubt. You're like, where's this black guy getting the money? Where's this black guy's family? And not only is it, like, can his family support him financially, but would they support him financially? Because I feel like his parents would be like, what the fuck you're going on a road trip with who, where? First of all, bring the car home, dickhead. Second of all, that shit better be on full. I better not go in that fucking vehicle and see that shit on E. And the mileage better be low. Like, these motherfuckers are going around, clocking up mileage, fucking up the gas, calling their parents to Venmo them money. Like, that, you already were off the shaky fucking foundation. It's hard to believe already. But let's just say the guy is black. His parents somehow don't fucking wring his neck for taking the car for a month. And this actually happened. So, the way this starts is like, these dudes were in New York for some reason, July 2nd, right? Hot summer. You know what I mean? It's a super hot summer. You've seen Do the Right Thing. Spooky things happen when the weather gets too hot. They decide to go on a road trip. They're like, all right, you know what could be better than going around, driving around, taking Instagram photos and convincing everyone else that we live a dream life when we're literally sitting in the back of a van like homeless people eating Cheetos in our boxers. I don't know what it is about white people, too. There's like a weird fucking van life craze. I guess it's young people in general. I say this as someone who's, you know, I'm 26, and somehow this is like young people shit. So, I'm an old boomer fuck. I don't understand this van life shit where like, oh, I'm going to live in a van and be homeless. It's like some weird Woodstock shit, except it's not as exciting and it doesn't have as much sex or drugs, so it's like, what the fuck is going on? Whatever. So again, now you got to ask yourself, would a black guy be doing this with a white girl? I don't think so. If it was Bang Bus, possibly, but if it's just this fucking whack-ass fucking white van that they do fucking construction jobs for, I don't think so, right? So they go on a road trip, all right? They get in the car, they're driving, and eventually they hit a roadblock. And not literally, but in their relationship, where they get into a domestic kerfuffle, right, if you will. And the police end up getting called. The Rangers come out, like the literal fucking Power Rangers, because they're about as fucking useful. They come out, and with their infinite wisdom, they're like, all right, you know, even though, you know, certain states have laws where if a domestic abuse happens, somebody's got to get arrested because of shit like this. Literally in California, after O.J. Simpson happened, they're like, yo, somebody needs to get fucking arrested. So, like OJ, this dude's driving around in a fucking white van as opposed to a white Bronco. He gets pulled over by the police. And now we got to start putting in the black element, right? Because, you know, you've seen the videos. You see what happens. There's probable chances that the cop that pulls up is just a retard like the guy who killed Philando Castile. He just comes out, starts shooting, doesn't even ask questions, right? That's a possibility. So that's one end game. Like, throughout these, there's going to be multiple points where the black guy would have gotten killed or arrested. This is one of them. If his parents didn't kill him for taking a van, this is the second one. You are caught driving while black. Don't even know if there's a white woman in the car, but you're driving while black. Bung, bung, kill. That's a possibility. Then they see you with a white woman. That's when the OJ PTSD kicks in and the Rodney King fucking hammer comes out. They probably would have beat him to death. So already we're at 3 deaths, okay? Put a fucking death counter up because goddamn is it going to get high. So in this scenario, when he's white, the police they're trying to convince her. They're like, hey, you know, you don't have to stay with the scumbag. I know you're 22 and you think it's really cool to sit in a fucking hot van and drive around doing nothing, but you could actually go home and maybe be a productive member of society and pay your fucking taxes. But eventually the police are like, they can't convince her, they leave, and that's the end of that. Again, this guy would have been fucking killed or murdered or would have been arrested or murdered at this point, but let's just say, again, benefit of doubt, he somehow slithers away and gets away, right? Now, this is where the spooky shit starts happening, and the fucking the levels of whiteness reach levels that go beyond white. Like, I'm talking about, like, Italian people, Irish people. You're not white enough for this. This can only be achieved by Wyoming white people. Like, I'm talking about the whitest white people. I'm talking about the white people that white people look at, and they go, damn, them motherfuckers white as shit. Like, they just have no personality. I'm talking about white, right? So this dude comes home, right? They're on a trip, taking Instagram photos, you know, everything's lit, everything's amazing. This dude comes home September 1st without his girlfriend, okay? September 1st. This girl is reported missing on September 11th. Like some weird fucking Illuminati conspiracy, they pick September 11th as the best time to make this fucking decision to say she's missing. Okay, I can understand maybe one day your daughter doesn't come home with her boyfriend. You're like, yo, what's going on? She at a friend's house. What's happening? 3 days where you're pushing it, going like, dude, it's been 72 fucking hours. Like, where is our daughter? Like, I'm calling the police. I'm not letting you leave. And by the way, at this point, if he was black, the father would have killed him. Like, the father would have choked his neck. He's like, I know you killed my daughter. There's no point. You're fucking dead, right? But in this scenario, they waited 10 days. 240 fucking hours, right? Do you understand? 10 days. 10 days. Not 10 business days. 10 days. I'm talking about fucking 7 days to make it a full week, and then you add 3 more days just for some cushion, right? He comes back, right? And the parents are like, after 10 days, they're like, yo, I think she might be missing. So already, like, this girl is fucking dead, buried somewhere, and in the grave, she's going, damn, I just realized my parents are white as hell. Like, they're even whiter than me, to the point that they're going to wait 10 motherfucking days. Let me tell you something. If my parents waited fucking more than 4 days to call the police when I was missing, they would literally call the police, not because I was missing, but because the bills would start defaulting. They'd go, yo, where's the money? Like, how come these bills aren't being paid? Where's our stimulus package at? Already they're calling the city to complain, right? So you get to that point, right? Okay. Now, this is when spooky hours get spookier, okay? September 18, this is where this is where if I was a police officer, I'd be like I'd start throwing hands. Like fuck him, fuck Chris. I'm throwing hands with the father, I'm throwing hands with the mother. These guys, right? They know at this point that this girl has been missing for 10 days, all right? And then on the 11th till now, that's 16 days this girl has been missing. The parents say, hey, we don't know where our son have been since September 14. We waited 3 days, by the way. I know there's like a pending investigation. You're trying to find her, blah, blah, blah. Like, you gotta understand, like, she eventually was found missing, like dead. There was enough time that had elapsed that this guy could have gotten in his van. Where is it? Where's the sexmobile? He could have gotten in the sexmobile, drove to where he tied her up to a tree, hit her over her head with the rock, buried her fucking 6 feet deep, a nice fucking, not a shallow grave, we're talking about a deep fucking grave, buried her, left, and then was on the run. Like, they gave this guy so much wiggle room, it doesn't even make any sense. And again, if this guy's parents were black and he was black, first of all, you're not leaving the house. You're on a house arrest whether the police put you on house arrest or not. Second of all, why would you wait 72 hours ago? Hey, yo, officer, I just want to let you know, I know things have been a little rough. I know there's like an investigation or something going on. I know how you police are. He's been missing for 3 days. And by the way, this is another thing that's white as fuck. The fact that they said he is missing, like not on the run, not fucking running from the law. He's missing. We don't know where he went. I had a whole human being sitting right here on the fucking couch, and then boom, poof, like a fucking mist, like that. He disappeared into the fucking mist like Kaiser Soze. And like, that's crazy fucking white. And let's be honest, here's another thing that happens with white people. White people's neighborhoods are super nice and super great, and this is probably the first murder that's happened there in 20 years, so the police aren't built to handle this. You know what I mean? This ain't Chirac where cops are doing murders every day. The police probably were like scratching their heads like, I don't get it. White couple, young, beautiful, gone on a vacation, ride. The boy comes home, but the girl doesn't come home. They have pictures right now on a fucking wall. Boy, girl, car, come back, boy, car, no girl. How happened? So already they're scratching their heads, and then the parents throw a monkey wrench in the whole equation and say, yo, this motherfucker's missing. So at this point, the FBI is like, all right, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but we need to issue a warrant. By the way, this is the first time where this becomes like it starts merging into the reality and universe of if this guy was black, because the FBI just pretty much pulled a fucking why not arrest, where they got a federal arrest warrant issued for Brian Laundrie out of Wyoming, wanted for bank fraud. They basically pulled something out of their ass. Like, he basically got fucking Marcus Garvey. Like, they basically figured out, like, all right, we want to arrest this guy for something. Let's go ahead and talk to the IRS, who literally have fucking blackmail and everyone. Like, the IRS could find out that the fucking Pope is secretly a fucking murderer, and they would like leak it unless he paid his taxes. Like, they know everything. So like, all right, low-key, this guy didn't pay tax on fucking bubblegum in Wyoming on the way there, and now we can go arrest him. So now, after 22 days of this fucking girl being missing and 16 days of this guy coming home, or actually no, wait. After 22 days of this girl being missing and fucking 11 days after her being officially reported missing, there's now a federal arrest warrant to get this guy and arrest him. Now again, this is where, you know, the universes can diverge a little bit, because in the black guy universe, this is just another opportunity for him to get killed. The police just pull up, they bump into him, they think it's assault, they kill him. Whereas with this guy, I'm sure he's going to be in handcuffs, or it's going to end in a suicide. Some white shit's going to happen. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand. How is it that, like, this shit always happens where there's, like, some guy who goes out with some girl, and then they, you know, they don't want to do something, you know, they say something like, something crazy, like, I don't want to be with you anymore. All of a sudden, he has a fucking Hulk moment, he goes from David Banner to fucking DaBaby, and punches a bitch in the face, kills her, and then hits the dip. Like, that. This is literally the sequence of events. I don't know how the police are looking at this, and America's looking at this, scratching their head, like, how could this happen? Like, this is a fucking Riddler puzzle from Batman. Like, these motherfuckers are like, this is ridiculous. And by the way, the reason why I mentioned Batman is because much like everything else that's fucking interesting to white people, it's not enough to know that some girl went missing. It's not enough that she could possibly have been murdered. It's not enough to know that the police took 20 fucking days to issue a fucking warrant. But they're, like, intrigued and interested in, like, the backstory. Like, what did this guy like doing? What was his favorite color? What the fuck did he like eating? And after he disappeared, went missing, who knows where he is, the police went to his house, they took pictures, and obviously the press got some pictures, and like, oh, he has a Batman picture. Pretty interesting. He has some crazy artwork. Wow, is that satanic? And then they actually go into depth talking about fucking Watchmen. They're like, according to DC Comics, like, they had to get on the authority of DC Comics. Like, they called up the fucking head of DC Comics, whoever the fuck that is. By the way, whoever it is, he should go fucking missing with the dog shit movies he puts out. But they called up the guy at DC Comics. They're like, yo, what the fuck is a Watchmen? And they go, well, Watchmen takes place in an alternate world where there are more presence of American superheroes change history. And it's like, okay, what is this? You're gonna find a fucking extra bubblegum fucking rapper, and they're like, did you know extra bubblegum actually lasts 15 minutes more than traditional bubblegum? Did you know that? And white people just looking at this shit, they eating it up, people are clicking on it, they're like, I need more news. What could happen? Find Brian. Where's fucking Brian? How could this happen? I don't understand. I know their Instagram is popping the fuck off. I ain't even gonna look at that shit, because I already know I'm gonna get fucking disgusted just seeing the amount of fucking crying emojis in the comments. But honestly, you know, I kind of got off on a little bit of a fucking tangent. I kind of went off the deep end. Really, this is a fucking tragedy. I don't know how this could have happened. I can only look forward to the court case if that ends up getting to court. I mean, again, do you need me to fill in the blanks? If he was black, it'd be life in prison or execution. Or, if in this case, this might be a fucking catch-22 where the guy comes back and he becomes the white OJ, where he's like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, he could have been, you know how, like, OJ went running down the fucking street in a white Bronco and, like, looked super guilty, and then once he got in the courtroom, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never did that. He's like, prove I was with that bitch. I was never there. So, he might pull that. He might be the greatest finesser of history, where he gets fucking white Johnny Cochran to defend fucking white OJ, and then really the country's going to be up in arms, because white people are going to be conflicted. Like, do we want a young white guy to go free because maybe he didn't do it? We don't know if he did it. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Or do we want to see whoever fucking murdered this white girl come to justice? And by the way, let me just say props to this white guy, because a lot of times what white people do when they want to kill their girlfriend or they want to kill their wife, and they're like, fuck, the police are going to kill me, what do I do? They're usually pretty straightforward. They're like, oh, by the way, a black guy killed my wife. And that basically is like giving fucking shrooms to a fucking Rottweiler. That puts the police on edge. They're going through neighborhoods, breaking down doors. I'm talking about all out fucking straight out of Compton ass busting. So shout out to Brian. At least he didn't fucking throw some random black guy under the bus, because low key the police would have fucking thrown him under their fucking cruisers and he would have been crushed. But at the end of the day, this is a national tragedy. When I think of 9/11, I'm going to first think of that smelly fuck in a cave, Osama bin Laden. And then after that, I'm going to think about that smelly white fuck in a Wyoming cave, Brian Laundrie. Never does his laundry.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!